Now, sorry, I apologize for the technical difficulty, but we're gonna run it back. Be right back. Let's get to that and continue on with the show. Soon as the host that do the most, Big Coast tap him in. The King hop back in. Gonna hop back in. Again, the floor is open. If those are willing, ready and willing, everybody welcome. You guys are welcome. This is not just me and Coast. You know what I'm saying? My guy, this is for everybody. Alright. Let's get this situated. Boom. Okay. Hey man. Hey everybody.
Yo, yo.
We back. Mic check, mic check. 1 2 1 2. I ain't echoing.
All right.
So we back. I ain't echoing. We got King back.
I'm around. I'm
Mic
around.
check, King. You sounding good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Let's get to that.
So
So
wherever you want to take it, bro. Like
I don't want to.
tonight,
Well,
basically tonight's been about. We kind of started before you came off. It's kind of been like I would frame this show surrounded as you can crawl before you can walk. Because I was saying that was one of my favorite sayings, and then Bump came through with a story about, actually having to learn how to walk again. So share some wisdom just on that saying. You can crawl before you can walk.
I I heard some of what you guys were talking about, and I had grabbed
Mhm.
out some tidbits to kind of kind of like a steak situation to cut that portion off from what I was talking about and kind of chew on that.
Mhm.
Um, I heard that you was talking about dedication and how it takes dedication and how people in January start going into the gym, and then by April, all the people thinning
Yeah.
out, and it's less people, and it's and you said if some of them was faking, a lot of people they don't have the mentorship, they don't have the partners to go with them, and so they fall by the wayside.
Mhm.
And I think that that's a good analogy to use when it comes to people and it comes to life, and even injecting institutionalized. Um, the system is designed to give discipline and to teach people how to have structure. You wake up every morning at a certain time, you eat at a certain time, you go to sleep at a certain time. If you are fortunate, you get a job in there, you work your job. If you take that mindset outside into the real world, you will function. And then what you can do is take that as a template and then um, start to customize it to the way you want your life to be with that structure. And so I think that a lot of what we see from generation to generation, if we understand civilizations and throughout times, traditions are passed down. And so when you have a tradition that slacks in their ability to pass down the structure, then at that point, the structure collapses or the infrastructure collapses because the foundation, people are not building on the foundation, the original structure, the original format. And so when we see our youth, I like to say the fatherless generation, or the lack of um, uh, role models or
Mhm.
constants in their lives. And I think that sometimes we want to tell the young boys what to do, but they're more visual, and we are all visual, and being at a certain age, they want to see productivity out of our lives before they're going to receive anything from us. It's like, what can you tell me if you ain't where, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of the times that's why role models like football players and actors and rappers that appear to have made it according to the world standard or be a financially well off, those youngins are listen to them and be influenced by them because they see something productive. Not to say that we have to be that way, but we have to have structure set up for them to be put into. And I think that that's where a lot of what's missing is in that, creating these institutions, if you will, or these we can call them camps, we can call them groups, we can call them um, programs that process our youth to have a structure, to learn how to be dedicated, create that understanding with finances and credit and life and you know, instill in the morality and respect, and because this is the stuff that a lot of this youth is missed just from lack of parenthood or being parented the right way. And so I just took that from what you guys were saying, and I think that that's the answer. And for all of us, if we all was to do our part wherever we are, and we can encourage others to do that, it'll create
Yes.
a certain type of ripple effect. For example, I do men's groups in the city that I'm in. I'm also connected to about 68 other brothers, you know, around the country who in their town and in their city, they do something so similar.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, if everybody does their part, the job will get done. So what we have to do is something, we have to create, we have to be infectious in our ability to impact and make disciples, if you will, of people who will then teach others to be disciplined, and that ripple effect will continue. It's the same exact way that Christianity blew up to what it was. It started from 12 people being taught and being discipled, being schooled, and then them learning how to multiply and be fruitful. And so I think that we got to go back to that foundation and also be doers. Don't just speak it. Like for me, I do music, gospel rap. I live that lifestyle. I'm not going to get up here and talk to you about, you know, living good and the youth and the communities and then rap about something totally opposite. My rap is going to speak about what I want to see happen and what I'm a part of in this time of in this point of my journey to perpetuate, you know, the agenda. And I think that's just the part that I took, and you know, from what, and
Mm-hmm.
that was my take on it.
That was dope. That was dope. It's dope what you said. Like how you tied everything in there.
So,
So
and so in order to restore the feeling, the keys are what? What would
You
you
said, what
say?
is for what?
In order to restore the feeling of this specific topic,
say it louder.
how do we go about that?
Well, say what you said louder.
Yeah, I couldn't hear what you said.
Okay. Can I sit up?
Yeah, well, it's not. I don't see you visually at all, but your audio sounds like you're standing or you're a distance from the microphone.
Okay. How about now?
I can hear you. Just got to keep projecting.
Okay. So how do we restore the feeling of this specific topic? How do we go about regaining the attention and restoring the feeling? Miss
I think
Yvette, peace. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. The floor is open. If anybody want to tap in pertaining to what the group is based on, you're more than welcome. We're all welcome.
from what you said, I pretty much encapsulated with everything that I said, and it becomes a feeling when it first becomes a thought. And so, in order for it to become a thought and a consistent thought that induces passion, it has to be trained into a person. It has to be repetitious. It has to be a consistent, as I was saying before, almost like what a parent would be. You know, with parents working, whether mother or father, we're going to speak for the terms of the dynamics of the family and the head of the household. We're going to say father. A father works maybe 8 to 10 hours a day. A child is in school. A father comes home, and then it's a period between in that time that he's home, there may be 2 or 3 hours, if that there's some interaction with the children. And if it's a good family structure, then the weekends will include some outings on Saturdays and even church on Sundays and some family seatings. That's why it's always good to have family dinners and sit down at the table. However, if a child hasn't had that, or these youngins that are growing up haven't had that constant, that's why I said institution, program, group, or something has to be put in place that's a constant. So if once they get out of school, or even if it's 3 times a week, where these youngins are being constantly discipled, if you will, then their mind is being renewed. And once they get it, then it becomes an emotion. They say that the longest 16 inches in the world is from your head to your heart. If you can get from what's here to be here, and they become one, you can accomplish whatever it is that you're focused on. And so that's where I think, in order to get the feeling, we must first instill the thought, and indoctrinate, if you will, or train, which repetition is like a song you don't like. You keep hearing it, eventually you'll be driving, not even liking it in traffic, and start singing it. And so I've witnessed that happen with youth, where a woman had called me out of North Carolina who had issues with her youth. And she had a real big issue because she was on his Instagram, and he had a crazy Draco laid out with money spread on the floor, and it was her living room couch she was sitting on. And he was 16, and she's like, yo, I don't know what to do. I didn't know he had this in my house. And if he's got this in his house, what type of people are going to be behind him, around him, about him having this? And so, I instructed her by the unction and the leading of the Holy Spirit. I said, listen, pray every day for him. And when he's coming in, read a scripture out loud in the house while he's in the house. Every time he comes in, be reading that scripture. And she did it. And then she said, he came up to me in one day and said, Mom, why do you keep reading the same scripture? He kept coming in and hearing it repetitiously. He was hearing it, and he ended up saying, which means he eventually began to listen because of the repetition. And as that happened, I gave her, she gave me a call. I told her to give me a call and let me talk to him. And I spoke with him. He was in an alternative school at the time, and he was ripping and running, gang banging, and they was acknowledging it. They was pulling them in the office, and they was having them being put on ISS, and also taken out of the school, and even putting on even in a more isolated space in the school because of his acknowledgement or his representation of a gang member. And it was soon that he ended up getting expelled from the school. And so this is what he was active in dealing with. And when I spoke to him and gave him that attention, and along with the scripture that is primarily God, he ended up changing his life around. He had crazy locks. It was not, I'm not against him having locks, but he wanted a new start, so he cut his hair. He ended up getting into another school. He graduated that school and went off to a vocational school. So kids are like sponges. The younger we get them to get that process in their mind, the easier it'll be for them. They just have to know someone cares.
Yes, indeed.
And sometimes some take it longer than others. And it's also, once you get to some of the youth, you could also use them to be, kind of like the bigger brothers, or and couple them and mentorships. So that's how it works, where and it just has to be a consistent, like almost like how a gang was, like the 12 disciples, and it's that constant fellowship and everybody being trained in the same mindset. And I think that when that's not there, people are left to their own devices, and they're left to whatever this world and this media and propaganda and whatever seems to be cool and what's being pumped into their head. They assume that as their identity, and they mimic it and emulate it, because this is what's getting attention. This is what seems to be what's in, because there's nobody there to create a real structure for them. And so I think, like I said, that's where when you said, how do we tackle this or get the feeling back, I encapsulated it by saying That's what has to happen. There has to be programs set up to train them, if you will, boot camps to renew their minds. And this is the same idea that, you know, the United States government has. You know, put them in jail, get them in a structure, institutionalize them, teach them rules, and they bring it down to the basics. Make your bed. We go to the bathroom when you eat when we say eat. They take you back to basics, and you know, and that's for. Unfortunately, not everybody gets it. Everybody goes in. Some people go in and they try to figure out how to get away with it better the next time, or they, you know, it's just they do good for a minute when they get out, but they just don't find the right type of new friends or the right type of support group or program to, you know, some people get slowly integrated. They'll go to a halfway house, then a transitional living space, then afterwards they'll end up into getting their own space and a job, you know, and it's easier said than done. It's more about, you know, just if you have that feeling, when you talk about that feeling, those who are the ones to carry this mission out to them to draw these youngins. You know, you could use music, you know, get a studio situation set up and let the kids express themselves through songs and encourage them to write songs, record them, let themselves hear themselves rapping positive affirmations. And that be the stipulation. You can rap, but let it be something, speak about your future. You know what I'm saying? We doing book reports on and songs, and rather than writing it down, we want you to write a song and get them involved in the music as well. Like it's so much that we have at our disposal to use as tools to, you know, to drive this information, or get this feeling that you're talking about out of this YouTube, so they embody it for themselves, and then that's going to be infectious. You know, yo, I got this program I'm in. This is what they taught me. This group I go to. This is what they taught me. They start discipling. You know what I'm saying? Just like gang banging, when you know, you recruiting new members, is the devil takes what's God's and he perverts it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the same mentality. That would make sense. Perfect sense. What you just made that analogy.
Yeah, I chopped it up. That's a lot, man. I just said a lot, so I'm gonna let somebody else
Yo,
do their thing.
Yeah, Miss Asamad, welcome. Thank you for coming. Chris Williams, thank you for popping in. Miss Kusik, thank you for coming back. Thank you, guys. Welcome to Talk of the Town. The floor is open. If anybody, you know, have anything that they want to share, that, you know, any topic of discussion that they want to speak upon, you guys more than welcome, man, woman, and child. You know what I'm saying?
yes, the floor is open.
Well, that structure you're talking about, it has to be an outside structure. That's what I talked about, transitional living, halfway houses, is to wean them off of walking with the walker or on inside of the walker like a baby, so that they can eventually walk on their own. So there are programs set up. It's just that the money be too slow, the discipline with all that freedom in one shot be too much for them. The wrong type of homies that saying, yo, we're gonna get my nigga drunk and then
Yeah, the
leaning on you
people,
while you got
places,
your
and
glow.
things.
Yeah, that's it.
People,
Yo,
places, and things. They gotta
gotta,
change. Like
gotta change it.
at some point, you
But
gotta look at those things, people, places, and things, and remove. If you know that's a trigger for you going to that block, you can't go there. You just gotta remove it.
and
Or
so
some
let me
people
tell
you
you
gotta
this.
remove, some habits you
Let me
gotta
tell you this.
remove to build a
Let me tell you this.
mindset.
The Army knows that when kids get a certain age, they're very influential. So they try to get to them and recruit them before the
17,
world gets to them. If
18.
they can get to you when you about to hit 18 or get you at an ROTC early, they know that more than likely they're going to train you to eventually be in the
Be in
military.
the army.
You get what I'm saying? And so similarly, you know, and this is stuff that I'm speaking about because it's the stuff that I'm a part of, and also looking to get even deeper in. Go to these jail facilities. Find out who's getting home soon. Go to these halfway houses. Find out who's in there and what's their status, and recruit them straight out of there. Don't let them get to the point where they get access to the negative crowds, because they don't have nowhere else to go to. So if somebody don't go and get to them, like I said, with these youth, like the military does, and get to them while they're influential, or they're like malleable to the point where anything
Sponges.
that gets their hands on is going to form them. You know what I'm saying? You got to, and I'm doing some of that. It's a lot of that is you know, it's in my heart, put it like that. And that the tools are available. So, and I'm praying about, you know, those type of things. So real results come from real actions. You know what I'm saying?
But also too, with that, it's a double-edged sword. Let me speak. Military isn't for everybody. And
That was an example.
but let me just rectify, because people might think too, like that's a way as well. When the military has its own ordeal going on, to where they're raping and molesting and certain things, and you know, certain things is happening to where they're getting away with it, to where there's a lot of people within that entity is dealing with mental health as well. I speak from something that I know, because maybe a few shows ago, I was explaining how a girlfriend of mine, her son, you know, committed suicide, so to speak, while being in the military. You know, so that's just, I just wanted to touch bases on that. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
everybody around that situation, including myself. I just feel like I wanted to touch bases on that, because I lived in the same house with this young man, and I took him to the recruiter. You know what I'm saying? And kind of like seeing him on his way off. But the whole time I was living there, I seen him, but we never really had a like, you know what I'm saying? So looking back at that, it's like, damn, like if he was dealing with any type of mental health to where he did commit suicide, like a great family with a lot of structure, like where did that go wrong? Or could it have been something else? Like, I'm not, you know, but I just
Yeah.
have to do that. Some people may get it, some people might be like, hey, what is he talking about? But that's all pertaining to, you know what I'm saying, what the king was speaking about, is as far as like,
Yeah. I wouldn't, me personally, you know, when I spoke about the military, I personally wouldn't recommend anybody to go. I mean, there are benefits, but I more so spoke on their tactics and how similarly, you know, we could use those tactics, because they understand that when a child is young, they're very, they can be influenced easily, and so
They're impressionable. They're very
impressionable.
impressionable. They come in,
And
they
so
be in there like, and you said ROTC, because like most of the kids I went to high school with that were in ROTC, they went straight to the army after high school.
yeah,
And then I can see where the mindset was set at ninth grade, 14,
it's
15,
yeah, and so
so
that's
that they
why I
have
say
4 years to mold them into something.
yeah,
And it's the same mindset. Like you get
and
them
they
young and you have
yeah,
time to mold them. Get them when they 14,
yeah,
15. And by the time they're 18, 19, they're on the right path. You ain't got to tell them too much. You
uh,
like they kind of like you
yeah,
still guide them, but it ain't that much pressure on them because like or on you per se, because it's like you see the potential, but when you get them young, you ain't got to see them wasted either. Because, a lot of us see that happening around the neighborhood. We grow up with that, but it takes mindset, it takes mentors, it takes good people in good places, it takes faith. A lot of things factor in
yeah,
to that structure just for one person, just for one person.
and that's why I said a lot, because in saying that, I was using the military as an example
Mm-hmm.
to what needs to be done now.
right.
Yeah.
They've done studies on the youth and they've done studies on the brain to know that once you train up, like the scripture says, train a child in the way they should go, and they were older, they will not depart from it. So whenever someone is learning something new, they are childlike, because they're ignorant to whatever the new information is, so they're vulnerable to that new information. And a lot of people that haven't lived the structured life, or haven't, been in a lifestyle of responsibility and working and paying bills, it's new to them. So you got to catch them before when they on their way out them jail doors. You got to recruit them early, or have programs set up to transition them. So then, like Bump was saying, how to get that feeling back. Once you train them like that 14-year-old, like ROTC, by the time they get to a certain place, 2-3 years out, you don't gotta watch them no more. They're the ones leading the groups. They're the ones,
Yep.
the head of the, they're ahead of the game. They climbing in rank, if you will. And that was just my analogy. Now with Bump's stepson, it's unfortunate that he didn't get a chance to really get down to the bottom, because any suicide is definitely a mental health issue. And I know there's guilt all over the place, because it's like, where did I go wrong? And sometimes when people that are suicidal see something perfect, they see that they're the only thing imperfect, and it's not even you. They just feel like they're the imperfect part of something perfect, and they can't handle the burden of not being able to meet the standard that they think is set for them to meet. And so that's what happens. They check out.
And that's deep.
I have a book. I'll be sure to revisit the world with it. She wrote a short book on that, and the next show I'm gonna bring that back, and and for the mothers, I'm gonna redirect a lot of people back to her book. Get her numbers up. It's very dope. She lost her first son, a jewel to suicide. Once again, I was working at UPS when I received this phone call. I want to say it was no more than 5-6 years ago. And then as a boyfriend, a stepdad, how did I deal with it? How did I like, that's not something that's taught. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a difficult time, but I'm gonna bring that book back. I don't want to drive off task with that, but one day, somehow, when it's my turn to speak or interview or whatever, you know what I'm saying, I'll dig into that. But man, we have to pay attention. A lot of times we take things for granted within our loved ones, and just even within our enemy. Say we gotta love our enemy too. Like, that's a tough task to do, but I'm not perfect, you know what I'm saying? But where I wanna go, where I wanna be, I'm gonna have to take that role. I'm gonna have to take that role. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't have no enemies. You know, then I might have time with enemies. Who knows? I don't know. But if so, then
The easiest way to love your enemies is not to have none. It's hard, man.
Yes. It's
but
not
then,
to have that. I like
It's
that.
it's a joke, but it's a joke to say it's hard. It's hard to not have enemies, but it's hard to love them sometimes.
yeah, okay, but just pay attention. We have to pay attention more. You know what I'm saying? Even in our current relationship with the people or person that we sleep with, pay attention, because we're all going through health issues as we get older. We're all taking on different type of stresses. When we're dealing with boyfriends and girlfriends and abundance of things that we're trying to take on at one time, that is a stressor. That is a trigger that causes anxiety and other different cancers and different things of that nature. So we have to become aware and more conscious of our intake. I also too wanted to speak about the music. The female rappers that they're pushing now, that wild music. So I'm bringing it up because I have a lady friend that has a daughter, a 2, a 3, a 4, or right. She was explaining to me some devices. I'm not saying that
the kids can't have no life, but we have to monitorize. We have to be more conscious and aware, even of our babies and their intake. So we're singing the song, not knowing that Gorilla and all of these female artists nowadays telling you to put your cooch out there and do it this way and do it that way, and the power of persuasion, like you were saying, through the music. So it's almost like see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. So when people see me make those emoji with the monkey, that's pretty much me saying no weapon against us shall prosper. You know what I'm saying? So when we intake that, we start to become them. We're not even conscious enough to know, like, when they push it on the agenda, they keep pushing and driving that music, and we're just accepting what society is foisting upon us. We start to put that in the atmosphere, and then we attract what we put in the atmosphere. So me, on the other hand, I'm very aware of how powerful the tongue is. Miss Rebecca Smith, welcome. Thank you. We want to acknowledge you. So I'm very keen. Like, as I've gotten older, I really watch TV. I might watch some sports and karate. So but 9 times out of 10, the TV will end up watching me, and while I'm doing something creative or productive within my square, you know what I'm saying, I tune that out. So it's kind of like, even with the music, sometimes you might say some old Luther or something, substance, but from an older era, you know what I'm saying? Soulful,
And Bump, and what you're saying, they know exactly what you're saying. You spot on what you're saying with the music, because they make the artist or the record label is required to put parental discretions on the music, because they know that it's influential. They know that it needs to be approved by a parent before listening to. Whenever we used to buy the CD, you remember we used to have it right on the bottom. Parental advisory. This can wreck your child's brain, literally.
You had to be a certain age to buy them records.
Yeah, you had to, because at a certain age, your cognitive has developed. You've developed in your mind. It's like when I talk about indoctrination, because that's what it really is. When you speak to a devoted Christian, it's very hard to It's like it's like they're literally been brainwashed. And that's for any, and it's not that it's a good thing, because our brains were filthy. My brain was filthy when I was in the world. My brain needed to be washed. And I'm thankful that in Christ it happened. And so when it comes down to our youth, and we talk about, encountering or combating these music and these airwaves, they have a defense. They've been trained. Their mind has been processed to identify this as enemy activity, destructive activity that is being imposed to cause, detrimental to my person. It's meant to break me down. It's meant to. I don't like using vibrations, but it's meant to bring my morality for a low. To accept things that I want to accept, things like you talk about the moose knuckle, like Glorilla talk about that. Now that's lowered the little girl's standard. Now they before they would wear tutus when they wore tights. Now they ain't gonna wear nothing around the tights, and they ain't gonna tie no shirt around their waist. They just gonna pull them up tighter and hop a little bit to make sure they get in every crease, because Glorilla said I'm showing off my moose knuckle. So it lowers the morality. And when you lower morality, there ain't nothing that a person won't do when they don't have no morals. When somebody say ain't no shame in my game, I do not trust them, bro. They would do anything for them to make it happen.
True indeed.
I don't trust them. And it usually was a dope fiend that used to say there ain't no shame in my game. You know what I'm saying? He could do anything. But that music thing is powerful, Bump. It is definitely powerful, man.
Nah, but too, that I realize and understand that. That's why I brought it up, because in the back of my mind, I be dealing with people off cam, man, and it's like it allows me to be able to keep this going because there's certain things that be going on, and she asked her daughter like, "Yo, hold up, like, yo, do you know what you singing?" And the kid don't have no idea, so she like, "Yo, sing it again." So,
Yeah.
Go start singing this shit, and mommy got infuriated, like, "Yo, shut that shit down."
How old is this kid?
That's enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, they 10, 9, 8, 7.
Oh, okay. That's too young.
But
That's the only reason why I asked. That's the only reason why I asked.
Okay, pause. You have fucking grown adults doing the same shit.
Well, they're adults. The music is for them.
What?
They can decipher right from wrong and how to be in public and all of that. The music is for them.
Yo, listen.
So they can choose not to. Now,
Yo,
a kid, you
Coach.
gotta get what.
Hey, Coach.
Like, we all been in hip hop. We all was raised in it. I think the first time, I can't even tell you the first time I heard hip hop music. So for the kids, you kind of gotta start real early with them. Real early, almost in elementary school.
Hey, Coach, listen. How, when it's
structures, because I remember when I like put it like this, the same aunt that you see up here, it wasn't no rap music being, she didn't play all of that in her car. You couldn't listen to it.
You got to remember too.
You couldn't listen to it.
You got to remember too, Coach, that these kids are facing bigger monsters. They got the internet out there.
Yeah,
they got
internet.
Friends. They got
That's
friends
where
with
the
phones.
structure
Even
has
if you
to
don't
come
give
in.
even if you don't give your child a phone, they go to school. Their friend gonna have a phone, and their friend will be
they
like,
got
"Look,
an overparent." It's sad that they have an overparent, but that's the society we're kind of in now, where the parents kind of gotta be more stricter than and be more in their kids' business than they were with ours.
But Coach,
You know?
that's the ones that care. There's some parents out there. You got to remember, these are the kids, grandkids of the people who listen to Biggie and Pop. They still think they're young. The parents still think they're the young ones. They still want to be lit. They still want to party and be lit and be out all night and where
kick it and start trouble and then.
True indeed, that's what they want to do. No, it like
I apologize
my whole
for
generation
laughing,
want to do that.
That's what it is.
I was telling Bump off camera, I come from the no left, no child left behind generation. I'm 42.
You want to be all in the mix.
Most of the kids
at the L Suite every weekend.
Yeah, most of the kids, but like I was there because most of the kids growing up now, their parents are my age. They're the millennial kids. They're 41, 42, 43.
Yo, the
It'd be my
grandparents.
friends, homies on the corner and shit. I'm like, yo, that's your son doing all this shit?
Yeah.
Can't even believe it because now we're the parents.
We the grandparents almost.
Some of us are, yeah. Some of us are. Some of us are grandparents.
Kareem, salutations.
Blessings.
Think about
it. It is a different struggle for the kids.
When Biggie came out, listen, when Biggie came out in the 90s, right? 90, what it was 95, 90, about 95. That was about how long from now?
A long time ago.
The people that was listening when Biggie came out, then people were 35 listening to it. 30 people that was 35 was listening to Biggie back then. 35-year-old. Now fast forward to right now, they 60 something. These are the grandparents of
my mom age. It's like my mom's age and shit.
You get what I'm saying?
So the car still bopping. Yeah, of course.
So now what happened was it started there. It was leading them astray from being the ones. That's why I said it's a gap in the guidance in the generations. Because prior to that, to be honest, when hip hop lost its voice, in other words, when hip hop lost the ability to determine what was in and what was not, and then the
Mm-hmm.
industry took control and perpetuated the negativity and silenced all of the conscious music like Chuck D and Public Enemy, you know, all of them, and anybody when we had the Kente Cloth, when we was becoming conscious and going towards some type of direction, because one of the elements of hip hop is education, it's knowledge. That's the
Mm-hmm.
fifth element. You know, and but they used to use 5% as the gods in the earth. You know, that was the religion that they injected. But when I come in and do gospel rap, I inject the gospel. I inject Christianity, the doctrine of Christianity. I replace that with, you know, the 5%. But hip hop has a knowledge element to it that was smothered out, and it was morality was choked out of that and replaced the knowledge part with disinformation or misinformation. You know what I mean? And so then they used they threw that in the back in the back seat and let hip hop chauffeur it. So, you know, that's why I do the music, because I know how powerful it is. Me and my pops had this conversation. He said we're gonna win them back the same way we lost them. Through the music.
Music represents time, space, energy,
events.
Everything.
It represents life.
It's life. It's everything. It's everything balled up in one. It's so much.
And let me tell you something, both of y'all, going forward, remember this in your life. And somebody told me I'm responsible for everybody younger than me. Not only that, but whenever I tell my story, and whenever I say something about my lifestyle that I know was negative, I make sure that I strip the glory from it and let it be known for what it really is. Even if I rap about it, you won't hear it just to know I can relate and where I come from. And because I can relate and I come from the same space, I'm a representation of someone that can change their life around. So you're going to get the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the pretty, because that's how the Bible going to give it to you. Good, bad, ugly, and pretty. Man, there was thousands killed in the Bible. There was rapes going on, all different, that thievery, you know what I'm saying? Beheadings, everything, to hangings, you know, being nailed to the cross. Like,
It was,
you could tell, you could tell your story. Just put it in perspective.
Perspective. I like that.
Like
I like that. No glorification.
Like Melvin on Baby Boy. He said, "You don't need to be like me." No. Kept it real. Yeah, I was dumb and young and dumb. Nah.
Yeah.
But you ain't
But I
like
like
me.
that. No glorification. We're not here to glorify.
Nah.
We only here to purify and do good things.
And expose, man, because that's what happens. Everything is hid under so many layers that it just gets past us, and until somebody take a box cutter and split it open and say, "Yo, what's this? This what y'all got packaged?"
Like I always say, we're like onions. The human is like an onion. You peel back one layer, it's another layer. Peel back another layer, it's another layer. Keep peeling, you gonna start crying. Gonna start getting deep, start crying, start seeing shit.
When you talk about when you talking about actually, self-evaluation, and you got to see that things that need to change, that you love, that you've been holding dearly to, that you got on your notch, on your belt, or on your shoulder as a badge.
Yes, more purification.
I paused. You got Kareem Gaskins was speaking. He said, "You are so right, but there's no one in the mainstream MCs teaching the youth. We have teachers in the game, but I respect the gospel rap." And I say gospel rap, and it's good news. Like, some of it is gospel rap, and then some of it is Christian rap. It's just life from a Christian perspective.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so what happened, if you look back at the history of gospel rap, it started around the same time as hip hop. I mean, originally, in the beginning, in the 80s, early 80s. I listened to gangster, gangster disciple, rappers, gospel gangsters. You got all different, and it was West Coast, but they was around. It was around. It came
it's
up.
been around since rap. It's been around since rap.
Listen, hip rap started. I got a video from the probably the 60s, where gospel started rap. They was rapping. In the Bible, David rapped.
Well, it's supposed to be sung and rapped anyway. They're verses. They're supposed to be hummed and harmonized
Rhythm
and
and
rhythm
poetry.
with it. Like that's how you feel the words. You can't talk it. So I would assume that they were rapping them shits to people. I would
Yeah,
assume that's why that was the
hmm
original language. They was
rhythm and
rapping the
poetry.
word.
And it talked about it being done rambunctiously too.
Mm.
Yes, sir. Yep, Kareem. That's a fact. Yeah, we need purification, and that comes from sanctification, setting ourselves apart from every unclean thing. Anything that's going to poison our people, poison their minds, and to be more specific, their minds and their bodies. Because when your body ain't being fed the proper things, your mind ain't going to function properly. It's not just psychological; it's a physical. Your brain is physical.
Hmm. The brain, the mind is all. It's all we.
Yeah, you could put a
It
foreign substance in your mind, and you'll take a whole different perspective on something.
it start. Yes,
Because
you will. It'll change the way you think.
the way you see things. I used to
And
say weed made me not care, and alcohol made me feel like it cared about me. You know what I mean?
that's crazy.
Yo, when I smoked weed, I cared nothing about nothing but family. That's it. Or if you looked out for me, and you people's like, then you become family. So it's still family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you on that.
But weed made me not. Now I don't smoke. I consider people, and I still kind of dismiss people because you just wasting your time, and it's somebody else's assignment. But alcohol just made me just too emotional, man. I was just like, everything was on 10. No,
Yeah,
I don't like that. I don't like that feeling. Now that I look at it, I don't like that I was like that. It's a blessing to be alive. And some of our kids, I wouldn't want my kids being the way I was. I'm breaking that curse. That curse is broken. You know?
blessings. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat that showed up.
Oh God.
Loving y'all. We ain't ending. We still got 30 minutes. We ain't going nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Hey, yo, Bump, when you coming up this way again?
Next month.
Hey, that's too late, man.
He
When you
said
coming
that's too
though?
late, man.
In the middle of next month? Cause I ain't get a chance. You be coming sneaking up here, and you know what I'm saying, and then be out. I see you on Facebook. By the time I see the video, you back home again.
Yup. That sound like him. Moving like Batman and shit.
Hey, dude,
So check
coming
it.
up in Reynolds and all that.
So I'm gonna expose the plan. I plan on coming up there for like a whole week.
We're
We
gonna
got a
get some
plan.
talk of the town. We trying to get some on-site talk of the
Go
town interviews.
to
Some
the Stanford
face-to-face
skate joint.
where me and Bump in the same room type shit.
Go to the Stanford skate joint and do a talk of the town and the skate joint.
Yeah, we can do that. But it'd be so packed. I've been trying to get an interview with the dude there. It'd be so packed. I can't even get there. Cause it'd be
That's
packed though.
crazy. Stanford got a skating ring. I would
Yeah,
have never
it'd be
thought like
packed.
rolling.
It'd be packed. The kiddies play like the kids are there. It's for the kids, so they at least they got something to do, and they're there skating. So I'm loving that for them, cause in the town really it ain't nothing. They done
Shout out,
aged out the Yearwood.
you know
They
what?
done aged out. Well, I think they aged out Chester Addison Center. So I think after like 14, 15, you're done.
You know what's crazy? The boys. The last time you seen a structure that was set up to really capture the youth, it was the Young Men Christian Association,
Mm.
the YMCA.
Yes, when they had the Y, because we were all in it. I used to love
But
the Y, yo.
the
Going
YMCA was
swimming,
everywhere.
going play basketball.
It was everywhere though. It wasn't just in Connecticut. It was YMCA, Young Men's
No, the
Christian
Y was
Association.
worldwide. Yeah, the Y
Yeah,
is
and
worldwide.
so
Yeah.
that was something that shouldn't have never gone anywhere, and they should have kept that, and they should have infused it with all type of training programs, all different type of things should have been instituted into that Y,
So
so that people
what
could.
it lost funding, or they just
I don't know what happened, man. I mean, I still
that
seen some of the buildings up, but
yeah, I still
you
see
know,
some places that got the Y,
there's
but
no reason why any Y should lose funding, because people was working and they had the kids when they couldn't get home to their kids
yeah,
in
they
time.
used
They
to
go to
get.
the Y.
I used to go get summer jobs. Go down there, they would find me summer jobs. They had a lot of programs at the Y. The Y was good.
Hey Chuck, they wanted to take that away because they knew once they like technology is, yo, let's take all the shit away and keep these jails. Let's
Yeah,
keep all.
exactly,
Yeah, of
exactly.
course, of course. I was reading somewhere where they were pressuring the city because they weren't filling up the jails enough. So they were pressuring the city to like, yo, y'all
But
gotta make arrests.
how you gonna
Like
fill
the,
up the jails
we're
unless you?
putting all this money into the state.
But listen, how you gonna fill up jails unless you create criminals? How do you
Of
create
course,
criminals?
that's what they're
You got,
doing.
you got to teach them. How you teach them? Through the music. That's
And
why when you watch the documentary, it said that when they had NWA CDs crushing them, all that, and NWA kept perpetuating after police and all that. Oh, y'all want to say that? All right, well, but to teach these young niggas to be that way, and we're gonna lock them up, and before that even happened, we're gonna build prisons, and before we even take y'all on the record label, we're gonna get life insurance policies on y'all, because we know one of y'all gonna do something to one of y'all, and so. You know that's what the new thing is now. Take them drugged up and on and make money off them until they kill themselves. Make sure you got the policy. But you got to create, it's another form of slavery. Create a criminal and you create money. You put him in jail for 25 years to life. You're making a killing off of the slave from the government paying for him being housed there. And you know what I'm saying? Like it's a whole new slave thing. Even with the financial dollar of the black man. You get what I'm saying? Listen, when we had segregation, and I don't want this to be a racist issue, but it's a United States issue, and it's part of what we're talking about. When we had segregation, our money was in our community, and other communities weren't thriving the same when the money was in their community that came from us. So when they realized that we were thriving in our own communities, they destroyed the communities. Section A, EBTs, food stamps. You got to give this stuff to people, because if not, the economy is going to flop. It's going to crash because these white people ain't spending no money. They ain't buying Captain Crunch by the boxes. They ain't up in there buying the oatmeal cream pies and all of we go there with the, I say we, I mean, I'm speaking for the less fortunate, even though, I may have stepped up a little bit, but our people have been known. And even though, I say poor people, period, they will keep the economy going. So keep them poor. Let the government do it, and that's the government. Because now you don't have poor people, you don't have social workers, you don't have state workers. If you don't have prisoners, you don't have probation officers. You don't have a lot of these judges. You don't have lawyers to fight. It's a whole system behind somebody being a criminal.
True indeed.
You get what I'm saying? So the thing about it is, if you can wake people up that way, and that your life gonna be at risk. When you start pushing that message, your life gonna be at risk. Because now you're waking people up, and it ain't that they sleep, it's just that they just don't know. They don't see their role that they're playing. They don't even see the trap. All they're doing is looking at life like it's a playground, and they can get on every ride, do everything they want to do, not realizing that you're being set up for failure so somebody could benefit off your failure.
so I want to ask the question, and this is too, Coast. What would you say to the fathers, to the stepdads, to men in the house, and it's a position between the man, boyfriend, stepdad, father, and the children?
What are they battling for?
Respect within the house. Sometimes,
I hear you, Kareem. I hear you.
because sometimes when children within the household and most men may feel powerless or it's just worthless to speak to these kids or to put out. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people were discouraged. And like, really, a lot of these stupid motherfuckers, they don't want to listen.
Well, it starts with it starts with both parents. It's teamwork.
Like, I'll tell you
Because
this. When I was a stepfather, and I still am to some degree, but when I was younger and just meeting the female and getting to know her and us being together, I didn't correct her kids. I corrected her kids through her. As
yeah,
time going on and Christmas has
mm-hmm.
come up and you got gifts under the tree from me and I'm giving you money and you coming to me wanting money to go here and go there, I'm raising you now. And at some point I'm going to give you advice. Now you can go ahead and do what you want to do, but when you do what you want to do after I tell you that this is what you should be doing, you're cutting me off as your provider as well. So don't come to me asking me for this, that, and the other when you ain't even listening to me. And it sounds like it shouldn't have been done, but that's the way I navigated around it because it wasn't my child. I knew the fathers. I always was cool with them, and I said, listen, man, if they over here and they get on punishment, don't let them sneak over there and let them get away with chilling over there with you because they're trying to leave from over here because they're on punishment. Oh, don't worry, I got them. When they get over here, they gonna clean. He gonna clean that oven. I tag team. You know what I'm saying? I made it. We co-parenting. You ain't here. I'm
That's why I
helping.
said it starts with it has to start with her. It gotta go through her, especially if
Yeah,
you're a
got to.
stepfather, because the boy has somewhat not been trained to none of this. You're coming in the house with structure. He ain't seen that in years or in his life, so
He don't like
he's
it.
reacting.
He
He's
don't like
reacting
it.
how he know best. You
He like, who
challenging
this
his
is?
spot in his house.
Yeah.
Even a young boy is like a little young cub, a little young lion.
Mm-hmm.
You challenging his spot in the crib. He
His
don't know
authority.
you, so he's looking at you like, I live here. That's his ego. That's even a little young boy got that. Even, and then sometimes you got to go to the mother and you got to see where her head is at, how she was raising him. Is it worth your time?
And she's got, you got to say, she's got to be the one that say, listen, after some
Yeah.
time go by now, because he's going to be an impact for the
Mm-hmm.
little whippersnapper. It's going to be an impact for the little whippersnapper. So you got to
She
have
got to
her
give you
say
that
after,
alley oop. She
yeah,
has to
got a
give you
little
an
time
alley
going
oop.
and say, now listen, he live here, he's paying bills here. The food you eating, he bought it. That shirt you got on, he bought it. She gotta break it down.
Yeah,
And
it starts
now
with her.
he realizing now, you know what? Let me be cool with him. And and it don't always happen like that. He may reject you, and give him that space, but always leave the door open and always throw a little hints and say, "Yo, I'm about to go to the mall. You want to come or whatever?" You know what I'm saying? See if you get a shirt or something. You gotta work like that.
Yeah, it's a give and take. I would say that it's a give and take.
Yeah, yeah.
So pretty much, you still have to have interaction with the little whippersnapper. That's how you say, right? I love it.
Yeah, hell yeah, you do.
Yeah, because you're responsible for him. You're assuming the head of the household. That means
Yeah, whether
you
he
the head
knows it
over
or not,
everything.
you are.
Yeah, and the head of the household. I learned about authority when I became a pastor
Welcome
was
to
that I'm in
Talking.
position. I'm in
Everybody,
position.
the floor is open. I'm sorry to cut you off. King, the floor is open. Everybody, welcome. Time is running short, all dependent, but we rocking and rolling. So let's continue to get to that.
I learned about authority is you're there to run what's already in place. You know, God has instituted the family with the father as the head, the mother is under, God is above, and the children are under all. And when you are in a position of authority, it's your position to look out for the emotions of everybody in the family, to make sure that they're taken care of that way. The mentality, the mental, the psyche of everybody in the family, make sure they're taken that way. And then, the finances, that happens simultaneously. But you got some people that just because they pay for everything. That's why I said, you pay for everything, but at the same time, you're building relationships simultaneously. When you spend money, and say, listen, I'm about to go to the mall, I'm about to go, what I'm saying? When they get a shirt and something, you got some sneakers you want to match a shirt with, I get you a shirt, you're going to come through. Oh, no doubt, jump in. Then sometimes you got to say, when they might try to ask you outside of you offering, say, nah, I ain't got it right now. Don't be afraid to say no.
Yeah,
But,
because you're building boundaries as well as a relationship.
correct.
And then they're gonna, through time, they'll understand who
And they'll
you are
respect you.
through these
And they'll,
actions. They'll
and they'll
respect
respect
you.
you.
And that's what we
Yeah,
were talking about. You said it when I asked you, what are we fighting for? So through time, they'll learn to respect you, you know,
yeah. But they respect the consistency.
you know. But don't forget, it starts with the mom. Never forget that. It starts with her ass.
Yeah, they respect the consistency too. You know what I mean? You
Yes.
switching up, you know?
Yes, it does, because we don't, I don't want to talk bad on people, but we don't know how many men then came in and out and try to play that role. Many of us go through that, you know.
Yeah. And
So
some dudes will they'll play the role just so they can get what they want and then be out.
yes, and then the child sees that, and he look at you like you like the rest of them.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yo. Then next thing you know, and then don't talk about the ones that want to wear your sneakers and your clothes.
Yeah, you know. Nah, but that's what happens. You got ones that want to wear your clothes, your sneakers. It's a lot. It's a lot with that.
So I don't fighting with none of your kids because they rocking my fly shit. I told them.
Well,
You gotta get them
well,
some fly shit. You gotta get them some fly shit. You gotta get him some fly shit, nigga. He rocking your shit.
you
You buying his mama shit and he rocking your shit. Y'all
and they
looking
go
just alike.
and then wash your jeans with a pen in them, and then you end up with a broken pen with an ink stain.
Yeah. And that be their structure. They don't have no home structure sometimes.
Shit. They not.
Yo, breaking break. Hey, bump, breaking your kicks in, breaking your
No
sneakers
structure.
in.
The Graham smoking my weed. They got guns on my couch. They got the chips.
It's because it.
And they rocking my clothes.
Yeah. That's what you got to
Well,
get. You
at
got
the
to
end of the day,
get a lockbox.
as a stepfather, as an outsider, I say that's your fault, brother. You should have found out about her kids from early. If they was that thorough, if they was doing all of that, you should have did a little investigation, bro. Somebody should have let you in on that. But I understand that. I understand rocking clothes and all of that. I understand that.
And I came home from prison. I needed a couch to lay on, a little Xbox to play, a little spot closet for my little bag of clothes. Yeah. I'm just saying, all right, but
No, we understand that. We understand that because we usually be the one to be like, yo, control your son, or it's gonna be either, you know what I mean? Because I can't
Yeah.
be here as a man. Because
Yeah.
yes, you're in the middle of it, but at the end of the day, you know, if it's your child, you should have some type of, you know, you should be able to control them before you start bringing people around. You got to have them kids get into control before you
Yeah.
even bring anybody around. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes they don't do that. They're just thinking about themselves. They're not thinking about the emotions of the kid, and they seeing different dudes sometimes if that's the case. Or, you know what
Yep.
I'm saying? Because some women is like that. And then they don't consider, you know, I respect the women that say, yo, you can't come around my kids right now while we dating until I know we're going to be for sure.
Oh
Or
yeah. Oh
if my kids
yeah.
like you,
Because
then you could, you know, yeah.
it shows some type of moral. It
Yeah,
shows some type of morals. In my book, you got some type of smart, some type of values and morals. You're not all the way out
there,
there.
Because what you going to do if the young kid, if that her kid start cursing you out? There's nothing I could do about that. I'm just like,
Yeah,
yo,
and then
it's not my
a nigga
child.
like me, I always put myself in both positions. Like you don't even know me. I could have been the worst person, and you got me in your house around your kids. You
Yeah,
just got to
I
make
mean,
better decisions.
yeah, and that's the thing with she's you got to make this pick a good person that you don't have to worry about,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you know, and if your children, you got to
Cause
give your
there's more
children,
it's more scumbags out there
yeah,
than there is niggas. You
and
know,
give the
so
kid, give the like you said, give the kids time because that's they space you intruding on, and if you're
yeah.
real,
I be
and
trying to
honestly,
tell niggas that they don't, especially if there's no man in the house and it's just their moms.
but not only this, it's crazy how we talk about this from the perspective of the man moving in on the woman because that's usually how it happens too. Because
But
women
that's
don't
how
want
it happens.
women don't women
But
don't want
you
to give up
know,
their space. Listen, women don't be wanting to give up their space. They would rather you move in than for you to put them in a spot.
yeah, because they don't trust.
A
Because
lot of
most niggas ain't stable. Most
that
niggas ain't
that
stable, bro.
that be the that be the case
Most
too.
niggas ain't stable. They
But
smart. They not taking a chance.
I promise you, they love the fact that they joint that they could keep saying it's my house. They love doing that.
Because that's the control over you. Not to say
That's
they want it,
that's
but
the
that's
power base. They
stability that you
definitely want
can't
that.
provide. That's
Yeah,
something you can't provide, yo.
but that's what they want. That's the power base. They want that. I mean, that's the if they can't get you out in the pockets, they gonna get you in the control. Either way, you come out the pockets, or I'm gonna have to and give them have the control, or I'm gonna have the crib and have the control. And that's
Well,
their
once you
power base.
coming out the pockets, you kind of already in control. So
Not if you
you
ain't on the
kind of
lease.
already in control.
If you ain't on the,
You kind
if
of
you ain't on the
already in.
lease,
She got you.
I see niggas pay
She
bills.
reeling you
I see
in.
niggas pay. I see niggas
She
pay all
reeling
the
you
bills.
in.
They pay all the bills and ain't on the lease.
But at the
Looking
end of the
crazy.
day, it just takes structure with both.
And
And
yo, they
then
and what
it
they
takes women
and
have to be mindful
uh-huh.
of the men they
And
bring in. And to the scumbags out there, I can't like they be wanting us to go at the niggas and be like, but we all know who they are. To the scumbags that do stuff like that, we can't tell them nothing because they gonna keep doing it. So
not only that, but
all I can tell is the women, y'all have to vet every nigga that come in. If you are into that type of,
this
you want to bring
this
somebody in, you have to vet these niggas. Cause
this one girl was straight up with me. She said she moved this dude there. She said ain't nobody gonna give it to you like a homeless dude. I was like, oh my god. A dude that need a place to stay, he gonna be cleaning, doing everything.
because even for the sake of the show, he going through some type of mental like
Yeah,
he need
yeah.
he need 7 to 9 talk of the town and come
Structure.
talk out his demons. He going through something
He needs
financially,
structure.
spiritually. Something is weighing him down.
That's the word that we're gonna start using. You know what? They need structure. That's the problem.
Yeah, they need structure. People need structure. Structure
That's
is
the,
good thing.
that's the terminology. You know what his problem is? He needs structure.
Yeah, because without structure, without structure, some of us wake up lost, head straight to the corner. Some of us will go get a beer, and then
Yeah.
time pass by, time
Mm-hmm.
pass you by, time pass you by. Now 15 years done pass,
Mm-hmm.
and then you wonder why your life ain't in position where it should be or where you thought it could be.
Hey,
And it's
Not
yeah,
bad
saying you
when you
can't build structure then, but now you're bitter because you got to build structure at 40 or 50. Now you're
and you
bitter,
yeah,
you
these
and
know?
You spend much money at the liquor store, you got credit. That's bad.
Yeah. And they don't look at that. I don't want credit. I know people with credit at the liquor store. I don't want credit.
Credit at the liquor store is crazy.
Yeah, I don't want that.
They know you coming back. That's the
You know.
crazy thing about that.
And talk of the town, thanks for everybody coming in. I know y'all not used to seeing people talk positive and laugh and have a good conversation, because this is what we kind of doing, having a good conversation, good laughs. You know, I'm loving this.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It helps the mental. You never know what a brother's going through. You know, there's always a lot of pain behind someone's eyes. You never know.
I'm
You know,
all for the
so
second
it's good
childhood as
to
long as you're responsible.
second childhood.
I'm for it as long as you're responsible, as long as you're taking care of your bills. Take a weekend off, or I do a retreat with the homies for a
Mm-hmm.
weekend. We meet up in like Arizona or Oklahoma somewhere, and you live out the second childhood, the video game, but just make sure you
Yeah,
take your
it's good to
responsibility
explore the
because
childlike
that child,
self. It's good to
because that
explore.
because that child hasn't been. It needs to be
Healed.
healed too. It needs to be
Yes.
healed too. That broken child in you needs to be healed. So
Yes,
I'm
because
for it. Just don't neglect the man. The man
yeah,
part, the manhood.
because a lot of people forget that, and then they stay in that child mode, that child mindset.
With the remote control with a 40 in between your legs.
Yeah, and they don't know when to turn it off. Like
And then
like 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 I like to play games, but they don't know when to turn it off. You
I
know,
do
they don't
too.
know
I
when
got
to
my
turn the
Mario.
child shit off.
I'll be playing my Mario. I still play
Yeah, I
Mario.
play my games, but you got guys that, they're not getting paid to play no games, and then they're wasting, man, like you said, they just caught up in a lifestyle,
I used to be out there.
that they can't shake from.
Yep, like Kareem said, looking for another mom is crazy.
Yeah, damn. Well, that's what alcohol is for them niggas. Alcohol is another friend, another brother, another sister, another dad. People turn to them like they people. They turn to alcohol like it's,
Put,
I've
put some
had
music on.
alcoholism in my family, so I've seen people in my family go to alcohol. So I've seen
Mm-hmm.
the effects of it. I still
Same
drink,
here.
so I know the effects of it. So
Same
it's
here.
kind of like, you know, I try to drink in moderation because I've seen the damage. I've seen it firsthand. It's scary sometimes when you see people that get consumed by it. And it's almost like it's the lifestyle too. It's almost like they're right there. Like if they would just change the lifestyle, they probably would never drink again. If they find the root to it, like the root to why, the root to their problem, probably never drink again. But it takes time. But alcohol is a yo. You got some of my closest
And,
friends
and some
done
people could
off.
just be addicted to the taste, to the feeling too. They could have a
Yeah.
perfect life.
Hmm.
They just love the taste of it and addicted to it.
Yeah. It's
You know?
just
It has addictive properties. It's not bias. It's a race or
like I
ethnicity.
said, alcohol people turn to alcohol like they human. Like that's your brother. And they
That,
get emotional with it and
that was
you've never
me.
seen this person when they dealing with them. It's like a whole nother person.
I used to be a mega dust head when I was younger than early my late teens. Man, I smoked so much dust, man. It was
And it's a
ridiculous.
blessing that you have your mind and your mindset is sharp. It's a blessing
My
that you
pop
up here.
smoked. My pop smoked dust. I didn't even
Because I
know it.
know
That's
niggas
crazy.
now that from our era that their mind is done, kaput. They
Yeah,
slow
me too.
forever. They
Me
slow
too.
forever. It's like, and I feel bad because it's like, damn, he was a good dude. Nothing ain't wrong with him. They just, you can tell
Gone.
like they just ain't got it no more. They not the same.
It's like the soul is gone.
Yeah, man. And that, like,
And
some
they
people
talk.
have to remind, like, yo, it's me, Coast. They don't. It's like they looking through me, and they not
Yeah,
even on it. They not even
and they
smoking.
it's like they talk emotionlessly, and then like they don't have emotions, and they even when they smile, it's like a half smile.
Hmm. So
or a little
You
giggle or
know,
something.
so it's a blessing that you're sharp. I always say that. Like I always say that to people when I see it, and they say something like that. It's a blessing that you got your mind, bro. For
When I tell
real.
you, Coach, I smoked a blunt on the hour every hour. I
See,
sold it. I
it's a
sold
blessing
it.
you got your mind, bro, because that's a
Coach,
mind stealer.
I was making it. So it was juicy as I wanted it to be. It's crazy.
Yeah, so
I ended up
you
in the
know,
hospital.
to any younger viewer that's watching or potentially watching, that's the testimony right there. You know, you can make it out of it. Don't if you feel like you hooked on it and you ain't got no way out and you ain't never seen nobody, it's somebody right here that made it
That,
out of that
no,
shit. So
and that's the worst drug you could be on. I think dust. It's worse than everything.
I would
I
say
think it's
that and
worse.
alcohol. Cause I've seen alcohol do some numbers, but Dust done took some of my closest friends
Yeah,
are no longer. I can't even have a conversation with them. They just
yeah,
gone.
nah.
They just done. I see him. We can
Going with
joke
it.
like you'll catch him on a good day, but most of the part they just not the same person. They not vibrant. It's like they gloomy, like So it's hard.
A shell of
Yeah,
their
shelling
former self.
themselves. It's hard dealing with them. Cause I
Yeah,
never smoked it, so I never really. I don't. I always been a strong minded. I remember when niggas started smoking it in the village and shit when I was young.
yeah.
I was just like, nah, I'm good. I'll go the other way. I'll
That's
just
when I
stick with the
started.
weed.
17. 17,
Yeah,
I started in the village.
I'll just stick with the weed. I was like 14, 15. So if you were 17, I was like 14 at the time. So yeah, that's around the time niggas was on that shit heavy. The older niggas was on that shit heavy, heavy.
I stopped
So,
smoking like I was about 20.
so then
19,
you
20,
got,
I stopped smoking.
you may go down to Carwin right now and catch the OGs if it was hot. The OG niggas is there, bump age, still on that
Smoking,
shit,
still
smoking,
smoking.
still
Yo, and
smoking.
some of them dudes smoking like it's weed. It'd be normal.
Yeah, so everybody body different, but
It's crazy.
for the mental health awareness and all of this
Don't do
group
drugs. Say no to
sake,
drugs.
just say
We,
no
need,
to drugs, yo.
we need to get them shirts back out. Say no to
Yeah,
drugs.
say no to drugs.
What happened to that campaign? You know what I'm saying?
That was a good campaign ran by bad people.
Exactly. So that was
That's
during
exactly what it
The Reagan
was.
era.
Yeah, the Reagan era. It was a good
That was
campaign ran by bad people.
that's their way of indirectly advertising drugs by pretending like they don't want it to be done.
hmm
Knowing that when you tell
And the,
people,
and
man,
the and like the Dare program, which came out to be stealing and embezzling, and the cops was making money
hmm
off that.
yeah.
And most of us turned out to be most of us end up selling drugs and using drugs anyway.
And it was in the Dare program, cops was
I was in the Dare program with Officer John and KT Murphy.
and he ended up being a Duke boy.
Yep, I was in there with him. I remember he coming down and shit, Officer John and shit.
He ended up being he ended up being a narc right in the village
Yep, right in
with
being a
Psy and all of
narc.
them.
Duke boy.
Yeah,
Frankenstein
bump.
Duke boys.
He went from being
And he was
all
fast too.
giddy, doing the dare speeches to slamming niggas in the pavement.
He was fast too. He was the one
Yeah,
that would catch you.
catching niggas and slamming niggas in the pavement. So that's where the city money went. He went from dare to slamming niggas. Officer
Officer John
John.
was like lightning, man.
Hell yeah, he was. And that goes to show you how long he was a cop. He was
And he was
dare.
short too. He was
Short,
short.
but dare. He was a dare cop. Came in there,
And
let
that
us
was
pet the dog. That same dog that bit up everybody.
yeah, he was a dear officer teacher at my school when I was young.
Mm-hmm. And you see, I'm 3 years younger than you, so it goes like
Yeah.
he been around, yo. Officer John been around. He done slammed
He
me a few
busting
times.
he busting the same people he was teaching.
Speaking of cops, don't coach, is it Oscar your uncle? Gotta have
Yeah, that's my aunt's. That's my aunt's husband.
Yeah, we gotta have Big Unc on the show, man.
We can get him on the show.
Yo, if this come across your plate, we would love to have you, man. That'd be pretty cool. You
Hey,
know?
man, you ever did,
I gave him
you
an
ever heard,
invite. He know where to find me. I was just at my other aunt's 72nd birthday. We
yeah,
spoke on
he
it. My
did that.
mom bigged me up. We spoke on it. I told him what it was
Crazy, that
about.
was crazy.
He said he also hold, I guess, men's groups and stuff of his own. Well, he don't hold them now, but he's been in a few of his own. You know, he's a cop for 30 years, so he got a lot, you know, he
You
got
know
a
the
lot to
thing
say.
too. I'm gonna tell you this a lot. Being that I'll be moving around trying to get things done. A lot of what it takes to make change, it takes a lot of time. So you have to set yourself up where you can get paid from it. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you're just going to lose a bunch of time. Not to say that it's not worth it, but you start sacrificing your own life, and you need enough time to be able to actively be able to do it. And you know, it has to be your job. You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
You know what I mean? Because that's how much it takes you. You're literally replacing what somebody missed in a portion of their life. And in order to be a constant, you have to be a constant. You have to be there regularly. You know what I'm saying? You know, and you have the capacity, you know, to reach people if you come from that life, you know, and you have a heart and a desire like that feeling that Bump is talking about. It starts with one person, one flame, one little spark in the forest, a dry forest will set the whole forest on fire.
Mm-hmm. That's true indeed.
You
So,
know?
man, I step
We need to
times.
talk about unappreciated men too next time.
Yes, I would love to. I would love to. Unappreciated men.
That's
Because they don't appreciate a lot. Like, I don't want to get into it. We'll save it for next time. Because I was just about to go in.
We about to get mental up in here.
Yeah, I was about to get busy because, you know, I don't want people to think as men, because we're a man show, we're not above criticism. You know, as because
But
we're
yo,
men.
let me tell you
No
something.
man is above criticism. You know.
But every time we
So
talk about what we go through, it's like the
yeah,
people we're talking to about it, they talk about what they're going through. They don't want to hear it.
yes. Yes.
And you got to understand, if we're supposed to be the head and we're supposed to be in position to make sure you're good, then it would behoove you to want to make sure that I'm mentally good. At least. You know, but every time it's like, oh, you got these phrases like, oh, you're supposed to be a man. You hear this thing. I've heard, I heard brothers go through this stuff, man. It's like they don't want you to have human feelings. They don't want to see the human side of a man. It's like you just hear it for money. If you don't got no money, it's only gonna go but so long before somebody, if you start being a strain on them, love ain't paying the bills.
Start feeling like a robot. But Bum, you
Like
got anything to add?
men don't fear challenge. Men fear uncertainty. You know.
if
That makes sense.
book, a lot of us men, we deal with things. Some of us probably had suicidal thoughts yesterday. We was on one of another
Bum,
past.
come a little closer. Or
Bump,
talk
come out the
louder.
hallway. Come out the hallway, Bump.
How about now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you good. You sound louder, better. Yes, you getting the hearts and shit.
As I was saying, there's a lot of people that's still unaware of our show. There are many people that is aware of our show. In all due respect, if we said anything out of order, out of content, or offended any one person, family, two people, please promotion, we're striving to create a wall of unity. So it's going to take that's not it. We are a support group to support. I advise those, if you can sit down with your son and do it. This is what it's doing because I want to sit out to single mothers and those that are in the household. Raise your daughter to be somebody's wife.
You breaking up a little bit.
Bring this book apart because
Bob, you got to get closer.
Bump, you breaking up. You got to get closer. They saying they can't hear you.
now.
You got to stay like right there because that's where it sounds good at.
Okay. As I was saying, as we close out, for a lot of us men, that's stuffers. I was once that. Where we keep everything bottled in, and we think, well, if I just shun this topic or shun this relationship or shun whatever it is that has to be attended to right then and there, so therefore that's where cultivating will get the right crop. I'm always going to be running the show every Tuesday until we open up to where we make it good and ready to do it 2 times a week. But before we get there, we're going to have to build and establish a loyal audience. So therefore, me and Coach don't have to come up here all the time. You guys have to hear not something that's redundant, but wonderful voices. Come forth. Not then there's going to be many mothers like my.
Hold it up a little bit more. Hold it up. Okay, yeah, you good.
Bob said you want to have the meetings on Tuesdays and Thursdays. TNT.
Tuesdays.
At some point.
It's not very long. It's just, I guess it was, losing her firstborn, her oldest.
Say the author name again.
Okay. Pictures of when we were at Disney. Time vacationing. This was one of his pictures when he was in the military. Force. I watched, his mom weep. I just wish that if there was a struggle to where maybe he opened a voice where there was anything eternally going on.
Your mic is breaking up.
Yeah, you got a fan on or something?
No, I do not.
It just keeps bumbling and rumbling and bumbling and rumbling while you're talking.
It sounds like you got a fan on.
Or like you moving around with it in your pocket or something. It sounds like ruffled.
So that means we got it. They gave
He said they gave us the
Chapman.
Hey, in the chat, can you hear him? Chat?
I'll type it in the chat.
No. You probably we hear you now though.
Okay, you can hear me now?
Yeah, when you yell, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, you talking too smooth and low.
I'm gonna type.
You too Von Sway. You too Von Sway with it, man.
Listen, I'm gonna type this in the chat, man. Go get the book.
Oh yeah.
That's how we gonna do it. They can see it, But yo, all I want to say is this is an open platform every Tuesday, 7 to 9. You know, we encourage people to come. Uh, this is a this is a it's a safe space. In so many words, it's a safe space for you to get your feelings out, talk, just be vulnerable. Cause like that's how it started. We was gonna be vulnerable, you know. Stories and testimonies. Cause I remember, like, I always tell this story. When we first started, I didn't want to do it. You know, I felt like I didn't need it. But the funny thing about it was, you know, I told Bump because we interviewed King. King was one of our first couple of interviews. And I went back and listened to his story, you know, and then it was like, you know, he was mad vivid in his story. He was telling it good. And it was almost like it inspired me to sit in and be like, you know what? Just sit, like, it'll come for me. I'll be open one day. But it inspired me to sit down and say, you know what, I can be a face in the room and give my 2 cents on this mental health thing. I ain't gotta be so closed off. And that was off the first show, and then the second show. Now we're going on our fifth show, our fourth or fifth show. But I just want to thank y'all two brothers for just being here, doing what y'all do. Thanking the viewers for being out here watching, supporting. We need more support. You know, we actually want someone to come on and actually do what King can do and replace me one night or replace Bump one night or can hold the floor as eloquent as King could and talk to us and tell us what's going on and give us some words of wisdom or some jewels. Like every show we always say it's an open floor, it's an open platform, open to all and women. You know, we always looking for women, you know, to where they can tell their story because they're just as needed as us, just as more as important as us. And I'm just loving the way that I feel that this is going because you know we got to start small. Like from the beginning, got to crawl before you can walk. You know, so we don't really got that many shows under our belt. We're just learning, but we're crawling and we're getting better and getting better and we hoping more people who are tuning in. Don't be scared to just say y'all want to DM me, DM Bump. Don't be scared to DM one of us and say I want to join, I want to talk, I want to open up. I feel like I want to get to the youth. Don't be scared because it's every Tuesday 7 to 9. So, you know, we just trying to give y'all a platform, and I feel like me giving a platform is me doing some part because then I can, you know, it's my way of doing good. I give people a platform where they can come in. It's the talk of the town, and it's exactly it. Talk of the town. Express your
Well, let me say
feelings.
this. Let me say this. When you say that, it's powerful because in therapy, you know, and Bump knows my history in that. It's called talk therapy, and
Mm-hmm.
it's for people to listen. People just want to talk and be heard, and it helps them get things out. And that's why, for those who are fortunate to understand prayer, you know, and having the ability to be able to at any given time speak to God and get things off their chest, they have a more peaceful, relaxed life because of it. And for those who don't have that faith as strong that they can go pray, having just someone like you, me, or Bump, you know, and whatever this aspect that we have, whatever aspects that we, or attributes that we have that we add to the group, it's beneficial for those who want to come tell their story and be able to just get it out there. Sometimes it's good for somebody to just go over their flaws, all their accomplishments, and
Mm-hmm.
they get off of doing an interview and feel good. They feel that that talk therapy did something for them, and they look at their life from a collective of events and they can kind of almost see where they want to go next, and it helps them to be able to. That's what therapist does: talks you through your life and helps you to be able to make better decisions in life on your own. It's not a guidance counselor, because a therapist is not supposed to give you instruction on how to live, but he's supposed to teach you how to make your own decision. And I think that's good.
Talking to Tell, 11 p.m.
Bing bong.
I repeat, 11 p.m.
Oh yeah, let them know, Bump.
We will have Mark Ferguson. He's going to be reporting from Jamaica.
Nightcap show tomorrow. Nightcap show tomorrow, reporting from
tomorrow,
Jamaica. He gonna let us know all what's going on in yard. All my Jamaicans tune in. I'm gonna send y'all the kite. It's gonna be a good show. It's the talk of the town. I love y'all, brothers. I'm about to sign off. Make sure you get the book. Bump will have it in the comments. Brother King, it's always a pleasure. I'ma holler at y'all.
Yeah, be easy. God bless everybody, man.
Yep. Get the book. It's the talk of the town. Bump. I love you, Bump.
You already know what it is, King. Another one. I love you.
Another one. I love you. I'm exiting out. I talk to you in what? Couple days?
Not even. I might hit you back. I got you because we got things. But yo, my people in the chat, I thank you. Mr. Gaskins, I'm gonna read over all your stuff. We was in the flow of things. I didn't want to interrupt. Sometime, man, yo, as a matter of fact, all you had to do is hit the invite. You could have popped in.
Yes.
Yeah. So therefore, everything that you typed in the comment section, you know, whoever has a lot of different things to say in the comment section, man, you're more than welcome to hit that button and do it that way. You know what I'm saying? Y'all making
we prefer YouTube.
That shit crazy.
We prefer YouTube.
Talk of the town. Tap in tomorrow, 11 p.m. Mark Ferguson. We love y'all. We out.